What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller. This is Colin Moriarty.
Here we are.
You're hosting the show.
I am.
The Colin and
Can't
Greg
you
Live
tell?
show is hosted by you.
You can't even give me 1 second.
But the introduction to the Colin and Greg Live show starts with some Smash Brothers. We're going to start with a game every day. We'll play into it. Then we go into the talk show podcast format, starting with Smash Brothers, of course. I'm always Blue Tunic Link. You're always King Day to Day.
Now, my problem with Day to Day, or DDD as he's known anywhere
DDD!
outside of Japan, is that I'm just not a very good Smash Brothers player. And
Period?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
But not...
One-on-one.
Yeah, he's so slow and I don't know how to use him. So, let's see what I can do to you, but I don't know. There's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, everybody's watching. It's ooh! I'm going to start doing the Nick Scarpino arrow method. And Nick, you can just talk.
What?
Nick is over there, throwing his hands up in the air. Oh, crap in the head. Oh! Move. All right, I like that. With that, I'm gonna do it.
I did that just because I'm so confident.
Yeah. So this is Colin and Greg Live. It's a talk show, right? That's how we're doing it. We're doing like Mike and Mike.
Exactly. So the inspiration for the show, a lot of people know that I really love sports, and I know that not sports isn't for everyone, but I think one of the things that sports and sports broadcasting does so well that I don't think nerd culture necessarily does as well, games and movies and TV and whatnot, is just having a place where people can come in and listen whenever they want in the morning, in the afternoon, something like Mike and Mike or Boomer and Carson, and kind of just talk about the day's events, not only for games, but for TV, for movies, for comics. I think this is going to be something that I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy, and I'm excited about it.
So our plan is to start every episode with some games, a multiplayer game, so that we can be on Twitch and not get arrested by the Twitch cops, and then go into basically a podcast. Right?
Right, exactly.
A daily podcast about everything that's happening in nerd-related culture.
And what I think is going to be fun about it is that
it's
going to be fully interactive. You can tweet at us at Kind of Funny Vids. You can tweet at me, No Taxation. Tweet at Greg, Game Over Greggy.
When we're off air, when you're on air,
exactly, and then use the Twitch chat if you're there.
Why did I go into it?
I don't know. I mean, you
doctor.
You had to do what you had to do, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, some people are going to watch the Twitch. To be fair, are going to watch, kind of experiment with what we're doing here. Might not be members of Twitch and might not want to use the chat. They can always, so they can always interact with us on Twitter too. We'll definitely include those people as well.
Yeah. Oh, jeez,
How furious do you think people are right now watching us play?
Oh yeah, because it's like usually if you're streaming Smash on Twitch, you're usually really good.
What,
you and I are two boneheads.
This isn't high level play. This isn't high level day-to-day play.
Well, I don't know how many amazing day-to-day players there are. You might be pretty high in it. Get out of here. God, you're still in it.
Oh god.
There we go.
If I didn't kill myself,
should have done a Woodstock.
it would be
an easier opening.
It would be.
We're learning.
Well, we're learning. We're learning Smash Brothers and how to tweet and how to
how to Twitch stream on Kind of Funny Games. You son of a gun. Yeah, take your own crap. There we go.
Oh god, no.
Let's start the show, Colin. All right, good. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Colin and Greg Live. Let's start the show. All right,
Greg.
You're hosting.
Greetings and salutations. My name's Colin Moriarty. This is Greg Miller. This is the very first episode, the inaugural episode, Greg.
Yeah.
Of Colin and Greg Live.
Yeah.
On twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames. And I'm really, really excited about this, Greg, because it basically allows us to do this every day. People really, or some people, maybe some people hated us on Podcast Beyond, but
if you hated us, I hope you're not here. Don't even bother. Hey,
what's so fun about this is that we get to do, we built a rapport together, not only as great friends, but doing a podcast together for years. And basically what ended up happening was that we loved it so much that we decided to do another podcast kind of like this, just every day, every weekday, 11 o'clock Pacific. And like we said, it's going to be about games, it's going to be about movies, it's going to be about TV shows. And the listeners out there, the viewers out there are going to help calibrate the way the show is.
100%.
Like the balance.
Yeah.
Do you want a lot of games, a little bit of movies? You want more movies than TV? We're going to figure all that out as we go along. The reason, let's be transparent. The reason that, we decided that maybe I should kind of take the hosting chair. You were the host for Podcast Beyond since very early on.
Yeah.
Is
I've been on since episode 1. You
Exactly.
figure Roper left in the early 100s,
Right.
120s. And so, yeah, that's a long time to be hosting a podcast.
So it's just a little bit of a different feel, and now we can, instead of you on Beyond, you often throw to me.
Yeah.
With your expertise with, comics and movies.
And chicken wings.
And Portillo, Wiener Dogs.
Yeah.
What's exciting is that we're going to be able to throw to you, and we're going to get some of your insights as well. So where should we begin today? I mean, we want to jump into
Where
this.
should we begin today?
Something interesting happened today.
What's the biggest news in gaming right now? That GAF was broken and there was like 17 threads and everything else.
As far as I understand it, it's that the order is coming out in February.
No, it is not. It's that we quit IGN. That's the big thing. I don't know, if maybe you just joined us here. We've officially left IGN to do Kinda Funny. We launched a second Patreon. We, of course, have been doing youtube.com/kindafunny for a couple years now. We rebranded a while back. Started a Patreon in September. Now we have youtube.com/kindafunnygames where we get to put up Let's Plays. The Kinda Funny Games Cast where we get to basically, again, podcast.
Let me interrupt you. Let me interrupt you real quick.
Please.
Because I'm not a technical person. I don't understand computers.
Yeah.
I don't understand internet video, which is very strange because this is what we're doing for a living. A lot of beeping going on so people are complaining about a beep. Is there something that we need to do about this?
Well, they're not complaining. They're just calling it out, and they're getting the beeps because that's our sub notification. Right now, there's a ping every time somebody subs. Their name pops on the screen.
Oh, okay. So this is a thing.
On Twitch, people like it.
Okay.
Yeah, a little chime. We can change it. This is one of those things.
Talk to us. Let us know. Stop the beep. Hashtag stop the beep.
Oh, stop the beep? We got the beep. We got the beep. I can probably figure that out. Because I don't want people to stop subbing.
No. So you it's like that. It's like I said about that old used car show on Bravo, or whatever, where you get to ring the gong when you bought a used car.
I like so somebody's like, don't stop the beep, and somebody's like, no, I'm complaining. All right, let me screw around with that for a while. I'm gonna stop it for a second.
Yeah, stop it and then bring it back and see what the people want. By the way, in the top left corner of the stream, you can see King Day today looking like a psychopath.
Yeah,
just looking like a complete sociopath with his hammer, just a big shit-eating grin on his face.
Oh, you're gonna curse in this show. I'm dialing that down to 0. How about that?
Okay. Does that work?
Well, now
somebody's
got to give us that $5 on Twitch to find out if it works.
Keep the beep, stop the beep, different notification sound.
Don't get caught up in there. You'll get lost if you try to keep up.
All right.
We quit IGN.
Yeah.
We launched Kinda Funny Games. We are now doing gaming content on our own every day. There's a slew of content. The Colin and Greg Live is our podcast, our show, talk show about games.
Yes.
Every morning, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for at least an hour, often more because we're windbags.
Right.
Here's the fun thing is I like when you originally pitched it, and you're like, games in nerdy culture needs a Mike and Mike. You know what I mean? I was like, we can be that. I'm fat like Mike. And then when I looked into Twitch a little bit more, it turns out like on the app, you can listen to Twitch, with the sound down. Like you can use it as a radio app. So if you're one of the people who always worries about your bandwidth, that's an easier way to do it.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So we have this, you're here, you're watching the live show, but it's not only about this particular show.
Right.
It's about all the other content we're doing on Kinda Funny and Kinda Funny Games.
Right.
And Kinda Funny Games obviously is the big initiative that we're launching today. And this includes as we were talking and as we've discussed on Twitter and we've discussed here a little bit is an all-new podcast.
Yeah.
This isn't the podcast. We're doing a Kinda Funny Games cast that is once a week, broken out, kind of like the Game Over Greggy show has been. This week, you can look forward to our Game of the Year, choices, as it were.
Yeah.
Our predictions for 2015, our concerns for 2015, et cetera, and so on. And those will go out as the week goes on. We'll also be doing Let's Plays.
Yep. Every day.
Yep. Beginning today, Let's Plays are going to be going up. And what I'm really, really excited about with these is we have a few really nice shows. We did Mario Kart.
Yep.
We did Smash. We also are doing a tutorial series, a so-called tutorial series, where you and Nick and Tim play Mega Man 2 with me.
Under your tutelage.
Yeah, and we see how far you can get, and then I'll show you how to kind of play and beat it and all those kinds of things. So,
right.
Very exciting. Super stoked about all of this. And of course, Kinda Funny, if you just want Kinda Funny content, the movies and the comics and the TV content that we can now do on Kinda Funny,
right.
then you go there instead.
All right.
Or you can just get a little bit of both.
Right. There you go. So there you go. All the infomercial part of the show is over with. Don't get me wrong. We're going to tell you more about those URLs again and so forth. But before we even get into IGN, to take care of business, we need to point out we are streaming on our new Origin PCs.
Yes.
You and I are using the laptops, the Evos, the Slims. They're super skinny. I like it a lot. But we're live streaming off the Big Daddy. Because if you're a fan of me streaming on Twitch, I always have problems, and it always looks bad.
Right.
So when we did this, we were like, we cannot look bad. So we got a Millennium from Origin. That's what we're streaming on.
Well, we're always going to look bad. Right?
You and I are always going to look bad, sure. This final season of Conversation with Colin debuts this week, right? Colin looks at the first one, he's like, I look so fat. I look so fat, oh. And this is the guy who's trying to claim he's not president.
Well, I got my Team Fat sticker. Is it over here or over here? I can't tell. Yeah, so these are our new, beautiful Origin laptops, and I've adorned them, just made it my own.
Yeah. With
my, to rep my dad with the FDNY sticker, and of course, the Team Fat sticker.
What'd you have for breakfast today, Carl?
I don't want to talk about it.
President of Team Fat had a smoothie today, and he said that's his new plan. What did Greg Miller have? I had a sausage McMuffin thing from Starbucks. Found a piece of plastic in it, pulled it out, kept eating the sandwich.
Well, what I'm
Team fat.
What I'm curious about is what you will eat next. That might be all you eat today.
No, but come.
Maybe I'll have a nice salad later.
We're gonna get out of here.
All right, Greg. You want to jump into the news or what?
Well, sure. We still haven't talked about leaving IGN.
Oh, so
that's a lot of people came up to.
So should we keep going now? Because you kind of abruptly ended.
Well, there's so much going on. There's so much going on.
You're confused.
You're
a little flustered?
Not flustered.
You're a little flustered.
We have so much to talk about. There were so many videos this morning and articles to link to. I just couldn't do it.
I know. I mean, we have a lot of work to do today.
Yeah.
Just a lot of work to do. So first of all, let's talk about. Let's start with. Let's work backwards because we talked about Kind of Funny Games.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how we're funding Kind of Funny Games.
Okay.
We launched another Patreon, which we look at as a subscription service. And of course, you guys have been more than generous with Kind of Funny on Patreon at patreon.com/kindoffunny. And there you're still going to get the Game Over Greggy show. Conversation with Colin's coming back. We're working on the details of a second season of Follow the Leader.
Yep.
We have more new shows coming, all that kind of stuff. And we'll be doing a lot more candid comics, movies, and TV coverage over there. And so I think that's there, and if you want to continue to subscribe to that, we appreciate that. And if you don't, you can still watch the videos. You get basically everything eventually, whether you want to get it on iTunes or you want to wait for it on YouTube, with the exception of the Patreon exclusive content.
Yep.
Which is like an exclusive episode a month
hangouts, stuff like that, Q&A streams.
And then we launched at patreon.com/kindoffunnygames, a new Patreon.
Yeah.
And this will help support us in the game-specific kind of stuff that we're doing. So we'll have, obviously, this. We'll have the Gamescast that we talked about before, and our Let's Plays and other new shows that we're excited about there. And I think the big thing that ties everything together is a show that we haven't done yet, but that we will, which is Kind of Funny Reacts.
Right, yeah. Basically, when the new trailer drops or a big news story goes, we can sit there, immediately react, be nimble, talk to you about it. But Colin,
yes,
you're still dodging the question. Why do we leave IGN?
I think we left IGN, so let's be clear. I mean, we left IGN on great terms.
I hate them. Every one of them. If I see Fran in this, no, I love everybody.
We decided that, again, candidly, these, we're talking to our people.
Yeah.
We decided that we were going to do this in October. And what we wanted to do with IGN, because IGN has given us so much and IGN has been so good to us and really brought us in and opened a door for us and really, exposed all of us to you and vice versa.
100%.
I mean,
I can speak for myself. I owe IGN everything.
So we don't deny that at all. But we decided that we wanted to kind of segue out slowly, leave IGN in the best possible position it can be, so that it can replace us.
Yeah.
And we can kind of teach some of the institutional knowledge that we knew, especially with IGN PlayStation, how to kind of segue that over to them, and I think we've done that successfully, or as successfully as we could.
Right.
But we also wanted to be able to break out and do new things and fun things that we didn't want to be tethered to just to IGN and just talk about games there and just about all the nerdy culture. We want to do it for us, and we want to do it for you on our own watch.
Yeah. I mean, the big problem we were running into, right, is the fact that we have a podcast we do here called the Game Over Greggy Show, where we talk about topics around this table for fun. And when we felt like we couldn't talk anymore, honestly, about what we wanted to talk about. IGN, the agreement was, IGN was amazing to let us do YouTube content for as long as we did. When I started my channel, when it was just Game Over Greggy, it was like, you can do a YouTube channel, just don't do games coverage. Don't do Let's Plays. Don't do this. Don't do that. And it was like, okay, I understood that. And then it was also, there's this gray area of comics, movies, and TV. And so if you ever notice, first off on the Game Over Greggy show, we never talk about games. And then when we talk about movies and TV and comics, it's usually old stuff. It was incredibly rare for us to be like, the one time when I was like, Batman, fuck Batgirl. We need to talk about this. You know what I mean? Right. Like that was like the one thing that maybe was over the line, honestly, but who knows? And so when we got to that point and we saw the support everybody was giving us on the original Patreon, patreon.com/kindoffunny, we were like, maybe we should do this on our own. Maybe now's the time to get out and branch out. Because, I mean, it's what you're talking about, right? Like, the problem with IGN, I've always seen it, right, is the fact that it worked with teams, that there was an easy progression to how you'd go up. I started as just on the PlayStation team as an editor, then I became in charge of the PSP page, then I became over time in charge of the team, right? You have that progression. Now with IGN, if nobody moves, people just get stagnant. That editorial pool doesn't have a chance to go. So if you never leave, there's never a chance for another PlayStation voice to stand up. If I don't leave, there's never a chance for IGN to get another host and do something cool with them. So on the one hand, right, it's that the ability that they can do. Oh, did they announce?
Yeah, it looks like, so we can say, go ahead.
IGN's new host, ladies and gentlemen, is Max Scoville. You know him from the Comedy Button, Destructoid, Discovery, Rev3. He's just announced on Twitter that he's over there. Let me jump out and give him a retweet. I love that guy so much. Very, very happy that he came in. Matt, this brings us to a lot of people have been asking on the internet what happens to the Podcast Beyond.
So Podcast Beyond, I mean, Podcast Beyond is our baby, right?
Yeah.
And you've been on the show since the very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on the show as a regular since episode 98. And we just recorded yesterday 376. So Podcast Beyond is identified with us for good reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's great, and we're always going to be honored by that. Here's the good news. The good news is that we've worked out with IGN a way for us to continue doing Podcast Beyond indefinitely. Mm-hmm. We don't know how long that's going to last. It could last a month. It could last longer than that. We don't really know. Here's what we can promise you about Podcast Beyond. For the time being, it's going to remain the same show. Greg and I will go in as freelancers and do it at IGN. It'll still go live on Tuesday. The audio and the video will be more married to each other, right?
Right.
So the video and the audio will go live on Tuesday instead of the audio on Tuesday and the video on Wednesday.
Right. The biggest problem with working at IGN and doing Podcast Beyond was never having time to get Podcast Beyond edited and up correctly. So now we're recording it to Mondays. We already did it on Sunday. You might have seen a Twitter pic or an Instagram from me. Then we're gonna, I can get everything out at 1 p.m. is the go time now. 1 p.m. Tuesday, MP3 video format. But like you said, it's just freelance. We're only there for a little bit. Don't get used to it. Maybe, who knows? But basically, we did this so we could transition out, bring in Marty and whoever the team they want to take over or whatever like that, if that's what they want to do. Basically, when we know if we're having a final Podcast Beyond, you'll know and you'll be able to tune in. But the show is changing for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, we should be clear about a couple of things. We don't own Podcast Beyond.
Right.
So it's not really up to us what happens to the show. If it was up to us under, ideal circumstances, we would do the show indefinitely. Or not indefinitely, forever. But we are doing it indefinitely because we don't own it and we really can't make those choices. So,
sure.
So bear with us. We're figuring it out on our end too. But yeah, I wouldn't at this point get too used to us being on Podcast Beyond.
Right. I mean, that's good for both of us, right? Again, IGN wants to bring up new voices. We want you guys to subscribe to our Twitch here. Go back us on Patreon. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. That's the big thing. And like people, I saw somebody earlier calling out that tip them. They don't have jobs and whatever. Keep in mind that we love the fact that you're tipping us. We love the fact you're subscribing to us. Don't feel like you have to. If you don't have the money, you don't have to feel bad. Just give us a like on YouTube. Share us with your friends. Tweet today about #KindOfFunnyGames, right? Today's a big day for us. It's a big coming out party. We want to make a big deal about this and be everywhere.
Right.
And let everyone know.
Right, yeah.
Colin was freaking out earlier because Gaff was down.
Yeah, I mean, like we want to be in as many places as we can. And one thing that's very important for us, for you to know, is that, if you can't afford or don't want to give money on Patreon, that's totally fine. Like, we really appreciate your support, but again, that's totally fine. Give us a chance, figure things out. If your finances aren't good or you just don't want to give us money, that's your prerogative. The content's still there for you, so don't feel like it's a necessity. It's something we hope you do for us because we quit our jobs to be able to do this full time. But we're here for you regardless.
Yeah.
So I think that answers the Podcast Beyond question. And again, we'll always be associated with that podcast. I figure, I assume, and I think it's safe to say we are the heart and soul of that podcast. I think you are especially. I don't think that's ever going to change regardless of what happens with the show. But it will go on without us. And we hope that you continue to support it. And we hope that you continue to support IGN as well. They've been very good to us. Again, we owe a great deal to them, and so continue to go there for your reviews and all those kinds of things as well.
Exactly, yeah. And IGN keeps the mics on for Podcast Beyond.
Exactly. And one of the important things that we want you to know, too, because a lot of people have been asking about written content and all these kinds of things, Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games is video only. There is no written content.
Right.
The good news for people that do like, my writing in particular is that IGN offered me a freelance position, and so I will be writing a feature or op-ed every week that will appear on IGN. And I'm also talking to some other people and maybe some other outlets as well to start writing for them as well, just to kind of stay fresh.
That's the super exciting thing about this, right? Is that now that we don't work at IGN, we can do this. This is our business, our career, our job. But I can also then be a freelance host. You know what I mean? I can go talk to other companies about hosting videos for them. I can maybe pop up on other sites and do paid work for them. I can, go out and do a million different things, do projects, do all this interesting stuff that before would have been weird for IGN, right?
Right.
Collaboration is easier now. Of course, I'm on Hot Pepper Gaming today over on youtube.com/hotpeppergaming. Colin's up later this week.
Oh, and it's a really good one. Mine's brutal. I can't wait for you guys to see this.
Tomorrow, the big news is that we're going to go beyond the lobby with Danny O'Dwyer over on GameSpot.
Yep.
Like, we're super excited for that. We're going to host that stream here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, so you can go check it out there. I just realized I never titled this broadcast. I know,
I was noticing that too, but I just don't know anything about Twitch, so I'm really relying on you here, Greg.
All right, cool.
Now, are we good on everything that we need to say before we jump into what the show is actually going to be, or do we want to discuss more?
I think we're okay.
We're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go into the news, Greg.
All right.
No, that's a different show.
Copyrighted. Can't do that.
You're going to get us in trouble. So one of the things that I think we should talk about, and we talked about this on this week's podcast, Beyond, obviously, but it's not.
You doing the first time?
It's not live yet.
Okay.
Sony has announced rewards for PSN users and or PS Plus users affected by the outage of the PlayStation Network over the holidays. And basically what this is that every PlayStation Plus user that was affected, that owned a PS4 and was, I guess active or had an activated account, will get 5 free days tacked on to the end of their subscription as a sorry.
Gotcha.
That you were maybe offline for 5 days.
Yeah.
The bigger news, I think, is that all PSN users, regardless of Plus status, because the network was just down, and even for PS3 and Vita users at times, is that you're going to get a entire cart purchase discount of 10% at some point this year. You'll basically get what I assume will be a voucher that you can insert.
Have they confirmed voucher?
That's my assumption, because I don't understand how else you
know
can
what happens
possibly
when
do
you
something
assume, Colin.
Yeah, I know. Well, I assume a lot of things that are wrong. So this is hypothetical right now. But the cool thing is that this will affect presumably as much as you can buy or want to buy, maybe up to a certain limit. I don't know. I mean, this is kind of how I read into it. For movies, television shows, and games. So it can potentially be quite lucrative for you.
The smart move is if you know you're going to pre-order 1 million games, if they're up on the digital sales, pre-order all of them. Get the Order, get the Bloodborne, get whatever the games are coming. They have Uncharted up probably? They have Uncharted up, don't they?
Presumably they must have Uncharted.
They got to have that Uncharted.
So, I mean, do you feel like this is an okay kind of, I mean, like, I think one side of it is a little paltry, like 5 days, like you can't give us a month or something, but on the other end, 10% off is pretty cool.
Yeah, it lacks the punch, right? Like when the PlayStation Network was offline forever and they came out and like, here are all these games for free, everybody's like, all right, we forgive you. And now it's like, we fucked up Christmas. And you get, we're going to tack this thing on that you don't see, that you don't really understand, right? That's the big thing. Like, putting 5 days onto my PlayStation Plus subscription is cool, but it's hidden. I don't know where that is. I don't feel like I'm getting anything. And then even the 10% off thing, what if I'm not buying anything?
Right.
Like, if it is a code, do I have to sit on it forever? And the bigger threat is if it's not a code, it's not a voucher code, is it just applied one time and I don't even pay attention? I buy like a PlayStation Mini.
I wonder if the easier engineering solution for them might be to just say the next time you buy something and empty your card, it's 10% off. That might be what they're doing as opposed to, but I'm not sure. Are we finding answers?
Wraith to Revenge says 5 days. Oh boy, no sarcastic. He's not Wraith to Revenge.
No. I mean, 5 days is a little. I mean, that's a little. That's
Kiru, wow, so generous.
I know. It's like I think that this brings up a bigger point, right? Which is we got to see, I think, firsthand. Well, let's be clear. Let's back up.
Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack it. What happened to Sony and Microsoft over the holidays is very unfortunate. They didn't ask for it. They didn't deserve it. The gamers that were affected, the millions of people around the world that couldn't play the games that they got for Christmas or they just wanted to relax over their holidays, were inexcusably pushed around because of the whims of a group that was trying to hurt these companies and presumably the gamers that are their customers, right? So the companies didn't do anything wrong. That said, it was interesting again to see how Xbox Live came back much quicker and snappier, and it worked fine as opposed to PSN, which was down a seemingly equivalent amount of time, but then struggled to get back up to peak performance. And just another reason why it seems like Microsoft's infrastructure is just a lot better than Sony's on the side. I mean, remember that in 2011 when the PSN was knocked out, it was knocked out for over a month.
Right.
So
because it was held together with duct tape and chewing.
Exactly. So it makes you wonder, like, I almost want them to just, take down PlayStation Network for a month and just be like, we're going to bring it back and it's going to be great and it's going to be work and all these.
They missed their chance, right? Like the PlayStation Network the PlayStation 4 is running on isn't the same as the PS3. There must have been a time period in there where Shuhei Yoshida over here was thinking, what are we going to do?
Right.
We can undo this. We can make it better. We can rebuild it. And they rebuilt it to this point where it's not getting hacked because it's randomly generating the number that it needed that one time that screwed everything up. But it is still not even vulnerable, right? Because the DDoS thing isn't hacking technically. It's just overloading a server. Yeah, there's all these real hackers get offended when this happens and it's called hacking. I barely got most of this to run.
Right.
Today I
but
almost
you did
cried.
it. But you did it.
Yeah, well, I know. But I almost cried when I couldn't get audio out of the thing today. It's just, it's a weird thing to come down on. Where do the chips fall on this one? You know what I mean? I feel like the PlayStation Network should be able to overcome this. It feels like you should have seen this coming, seeing as how DDoS attacks have been coming for a while now. You know what I mean? And to get hit on Christmas is such a crappy thing to do. Such a terrible thing to do because it wasn't even about, at first you're just like, oh man, it sucks because I have time off work, and now I got a lot of time off work. But then I have time off work, right? And then it was like, well, it's not even that because like Christine was on the phone with family members, And they're like, yeah, we just bought a new console, but we got to take it back. It doesn't work. And he's like, well, what's wrong with it? And he's like, oh, I tried to turn it. He's like, she has to explain to this dad who bought a 7-year-old this thing who has no idea what's happening on GAF or on Kotaku. They have to be like, no, this is what's happening. Just chill out. Eventually it's going to work. Like, what a freaking thing of tiddlywinks here. You pull one out, everything goes, I guess that's Jenga. Not tiddlywinks.
No, tiddlywinks. Well, isn't that when you drop all the
oh, right.
You pick them up without moving them or something? Isn't that what the thing?
I thought you picked them up with 2 other sticks.
I don't know. Maybe I was playing with made up rules.
Somebody in the chat tell us what tiddlywinks is.
So the other piece of, I think, pertinent gaming news today, Greg, is and I want to be clear to everyone that even though we're best known for our PlayStation coverage, that this will be a more democratized show for sure.
We started with Smash Bros.
It just happens to be that Sony's news is most pertinent right now, I think. Today, anyway. This morning, Sony announced, at least for the United States and Canada, a PlayStation Now subscription model, which people have been asking for since PS Now and Gaikai were revealed as being this kind of cloud gaming service.
No longer a la carte. Now you just get the open.
As far as I understand, it can still be a la carte for rentals.
Oh, sure, it still can be. Yeah.
But here's what Sony said in their statement. SCEA today announced that a subscription for the streaming game service PlayStation Now will launch on January 13 across US and Canada. The subscription available first on PlayStation 4. So first on PlayStation 4 systems, followed by other PlayStation Now enabled devices, presumably Vita and your phone and your tablet, will offer access to over 100 PlayStation 3 games. That includes titles from major publishers like Sony, Warner Brothers, Bandai Namco, Sega, and more. Gamers will be able to choose from a monthly subscription plan for $19.99 per month or a 3-month plan for $44.99, breaking down to about $15 per month. A free 7-day trial that provides access to all the games in the subscription service will also be offered at launch. And what was really cool about this to me, I'm going to skip the whole PR statement because that's not super relevant.
The quote?
Yeah, the quote.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We put out a press release today about us leaving our IGN job. Colin wanted to put 2 quotes in them. Like, everybody skips the quotes.
Well, I just felt like it was very abrupt. I wrote that press release.
You did a really good job. Like I said, my journalism professor from Mizzou said you did a really good job.
I appreciate that.
Tom Moore of everybody.
At the end of Sony's statement, it says, PlayStation Now provides the ability to stream PS3 games without game downloads, installs, or patches. Users can save their game progress on PlayStation Now's proprietary cloud service and seamlessly resume their progress on any PlayStation Now enabled device. For instance, users can start playing a game through PlayStation Now on their PS4 in their living room and then play on their Vita in their bedroom. So that's pretty cool. And I think Jason Schreier, Kotaku, and others have tweeted out today that PS1 and PS2 games Sony ultimately wants to try to include them in this as well.
Sure. Seems like you should have done that originally. You get Suikoden. You get it out there. You get Suikoden too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite know why, what the technical problem must be, in terms of getting PS1 and PS2 games involved, unless it's just a monetary issue as well.
Onyx Cougar says Tiddlywinks equals a group of small penises.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Tiddlywinks are coins you flip by pressing coins onto them. Pickup sticks are the sticks you pick up. That was from It's Jez. Thanks, It's Jez. Another guy here. Pickup sticks 21. Wow, I don't know. He's not even talking about Tiddlywinks though. Will these eventually post to YouTube if you missed the live broadcast? No. We're keeping the Twitch content on Twitch. However, all of our Twitch stuff gets archived on Twitch.
Okay.
So it'd be there for you. But the idea here, and this is something we went back and forth on, and obviously let us know in the chat and on Twitter and everything else, and on Patreon, how you want us to do the show. Our mind's eye was that we keep everything to Twitch, we keep everything to YouTube, we keep everything to Patreon, because we have so much content that we didn't want to overflow everybody's sub boxes, right? And the idea with the Colin and Greg show is that it's daily, right? It's not like Podcast Beyond, where you hear it once and it has legs. We're trying to do this every day, topical. If you miss one, big deal. There'll be one tomorrow and you can catch up on it.
Let me see if I can find. We're getting so many comments. Someone asked a pertinent question.
It's funny because
I'm sorry. Big Daddy Cocaine.
Big Daddy Cocaine.
Who may or may not be Nick Scarpino. I don't know. He says, "Will you guys still review games? And if so, will you still get the games early?" So, well, you can answer it.
Our idea is that you come to Kind of Funny Games, whether it be on Twitch, whether it be on YouTube. You will hear all about games and new games and what we think of games. We are not in the business of reviewing games. We're not going to come out and put a score on things. We are not going to come out and give you a giant written review. And the score thing, right, is just because we don't really believe in them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that we respect that website.
Yeah, totally.
The scores that they want to. And
I love doing it at IGN, yeah.
That's what the audiences expect, and so, that's the way it goes. But we, for our own channel, don't believe in scores. I think scores are largely destructive. I think that they're reductive. I think that they aren't able to tell the whole story. And so if we're going to talk about games, I think the best way to do is to expound on why we feel about a certain way about a game instead of someone scrolling down to the bottom and looking at a score and automatically assuming what we meant. I don't think game scores, or on reviews are worth anything, and so
Well,
we don't want to. Well, we don't want.
I like review scores. I like looking at them and seeing a boiled down opinion. But what we want to do, this goes back to something I tell people all the time, right? When people come up to me at PAX and ask how to get in the industry and they're doing this blog and what should they do, I always say, well, don't do what IGN does. Don't do what Kotaku does. These are sites that are established that are already doing it, right? Like nobody needs to come here for this review. I want you guys coming to Kinda Funny Games to interpret games with us. We're going to play the games. We're going to tell you what we think of the games while we play them. There's the Kinda Funny Games cast where we'll talk about the games we have been playing, or what we saw at a preview event, or what we saw at E3 or at PAX. We're still going to shows. We're still doing all of that things, but I want this to be a conversation like I'm always talking about with Podcast Beyond or with Game Over Greggy's show. You're a best friend. You're part of the conversation. That's the relationship that we have with our listeners and viewers already that I want to continue on in this thing and have the chance to really do it, right? Because it seemed like at IGN we were always trying to do both. Podcast Beyond was this fantastic community of close-knit friends who you listened to the podcast and we got you through troubles and you got us through troubles, and it was this relationship we understood and knew. But when you got outside of Podcast Beyond and you post an article on IGN, oh, the comments are terrible and this, that, and the other. It's like, well,
right.
They're bad on this general review where 300,000 people came in and 400 people decided to comment and then 12 of them were jerks. Whereas Podcast Beyond, there's the Podcast Beyond Facebook group and all these different things.
Right.
We want that community to be everything to us. We want you guys. We want the subs here, the people in the chat. We want you to come in and be regulars so we know you and we all grow and do this together. Maybe not grow. I've grown as much as I can.
Well, you were bigger at one point, Greg.
Shut up.
No, but I think that one of the things that we talked about a lot was there's only 4 of us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And really, the main game voice is going to be me, you, and Tim, right?
Right.
Nick's more of our director and our producer. He
Nick
plays games,
Scarpino
but
doesn't know anything about anything.
but the point I'm trying to make is that our resources are very limited in terms of what we can cover, and so I look at Kind of Funny as being Kind of Funny Games as being more of a celebration of games.
Right.
It's not to say that we're not going to hate stuff. It's not to say we're gonna only talk about the things we like. It is to say that your time is finite, and so is ours. And why focus only on the negative? Let's find the stuff that we like and that we can enjoy together.
Let's celebrate games
and
again.
celebrate the games together. And then when we find something we want to steer you away from, we're also going to do that.
Sure.
But I think that the negativity that's pervasive in gaming right now can be easily dodged and avoided by our own format.
Potato Wheelchair comments in the Twitch stream. He'll grow with me. Thank you, Potato Wheelchair. There's a lot we can learn from each other. Do you think he's a potato in a wheelchair, or his wheelchair is made of potatoes?
My assumption is that the wheelchair is made out of potatoes, because otherwise it would be potato in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So I think that is a pertinent question. And obviously, I know we were leaving so many things unanswered. We are right now that people might have questions, comments, concerns, and over time we're going to answer all those questions. 'Cause I'm sure, in other words, I'm sure there are things that we haven't thought about.
Like this question in all caps from Cash is my dad, as is my mom. Ash is my mom. Do you plan on making this into a network one day with other hosts?
Presumably, Kind of Funny Games can grow.
Right now, we're trying to figure out if we will pay rent next month.
I mean, presumably, that's we definitely want to grow as much as we can, but we're also. I think one of the great things about Kind of Funny and what is going to separate it from the more mainstream media out there and the mainstream media we were part of for many years is that we're smaller and we're more niche and we're able to make less content, but I think great content that's going to cater to a very specific audience that will hopefully grow with us. Gotcha. And so how big the audience grows, I think, is gonna determine how big we become. Yeah. In terms of Kind of Funny.
Sure. Somebody in here, hold on, I saw it on your screen. I got to try to find out mine. It's funny because when I was at, Alfredo Plays is in the stream right now. I made him a mod. He's an amazing guy. Streams all the time. He's an untapped resource. You need to go sub to him right now. Follow him right now because he's amazing and he's gonna blow up. But he's my Twitch liaison. He knows everything about Twitch.
Oh,
so I
nice.
was messaging him back and forth last night, and he was like, "You need to get this thing to manage your chat and everything." And I'm like, I chat every Monday with people. It'll be fine. And when there's 5,000 people in the chat room, it's a lot harder to manage.
So I
should have listened to Alfredo.
So how do we do this? I mean, bring me to it. Let's unpack it a little bit.
What are we unpacking?
So the comments are moving too fast for you.
Yeah, you can slow down chat. I can experiment with it right now. Again, I pointed this out in the beginning of the show. If you just joined us, we're a brand new show, Colin and Greg Live. It's going to be every day, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Hanging out, talking stuff. We are learning on the fly. I forgot to put in the titles and stuff in the beginning. But now I got to remember
Mistakes
how to
will always be made.
Yeah, but that's again, we're building this for you, the community, the best friends out there. Yeah, things are going to happen. Things are going to go wrong.
Yeah,
you know what we're going to do? We're going to shake it out. We're going to hang out and have fun.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right. So, shall we move on with the news?
Can I sing a song real quick?
Yes.
Everything Everything's gonna be alright. Rockabye.
Oh, man,
that's good.
That song kind of sucked.
Woo!
Yeah, I gotta be honest.
It sucked?
Yeah, that's
Rockabye sucked?
correct. Correct.
Wow. I don't know. I'm starting to rethink this decision. I'm going to call IGN. I don't know if I can be in business with you.
Also,
there we go. Slow mode.
Also, to the person 15 or 20 minutes ago that was making fun of the Islanders for losing to the Oilers last night, which is
you don't like that,
a complete embarrassment to us. That's not very nice.
All right, slow down the chat, everybody.
So that's pretty interesting. So now we can see it move a little quick. I gotta be logged in at this at some point. I think I have a name on here. Greg, let's move on to movie news. Or
everyone says, yeah, it sucked.
What?
It did suck. Rockabye. I agree with Colin, says Lizard King MKV. Oh my gosh, it did suck.
That song does suck.
What are you talking about? Did you hear the range I had on it? No one is
I'm not talking about your
defending
rendition of it.
No, I know that, but I mean just in general. Kinda sucked is an understatement, says Fraser. 44.
We're just trying to put kinda in front of everything now.
I do want to point out now that this is January 5th in America. We just came off a long holiday. If you're subbing right now, you're getting a little star next to your name. When Twitch approves it, because they're catching up, you're going to get the kind of funny smiley face.
Nice.
And then once they approve my emoticon thing, I'll get emoticons up. This is all stuff coming, and it's promised to you as a sub. I want you to know we're not forgetting about it. It's there. And I didn't even put this in the thing. This is an exclusive.
Talk to me.
You take Portillo.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the other thing. We're lucky enough to work in this industry, be people in this industry, have connections and whatnot, which means we get a lot of swag, a lot of gamer swag. So the idea we're kicking around is that every episode of the Game Over, or no, this isn't the Game Over show. What's the one? Is
Portillo, it's a box, but it's not.
All right, just get rid of him. He's being a bad dog. You're being a bad dog, Portillo. Every episode of Colin and Greg Live, we will add something else to the prize box. Then on Friday, draw one of our subs at random to get the prize box mailed to him, all right? So I'm starting with two things today, all right? Because it's a big day, Colin.
It is. It's a huge day.
Number one, we're starting with an Origin PC shirt. No, that's a case. This is a shirt. So I got a t-shirt here, extra large. And I know you're thinking, shirt, big deal. Whatever. And then we're going to toss in next the Hulkamania edition, PlayStation 4, WWE 2K15.
Now, is this the Hulkamania that loves Freedom Wars?
Well, as you know from Up at Noon, that is the real Hulk Hogan now.
Yeah, that is.
So the Hulkamania edition, of course, comes with a little Funko Pop, a sticker, a piece of the mat he stepped on, an autographed photo
really?
of the
That's
game.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. PlayStation 4. These are getting added to the prize package thing. Now, Nick said not to put stuff out here because it might throw off.
Yeah, the focus.
But I always say, fuck Nick, so...
Don't do it, Greg.
Really? Where can I put it that people would understand that... you know what I'll start doing? I'll start taking... Today, I'll take
photos.
I'll take a photo, and then I'll put it on the little Twitch thing.
Oh, dear.
I could do that while we did it right now, because I know how to do this now that I Twitch all the time.
Fantastic.
All right, you go ahead.
So that's it. That's what we're giving away. First thing, it's a shirt.
No, for Monday. This is what we're adding to the prize box.
Oh, okay.
Throughout the week now, every day we will add one more item, and then on Friday draw from our list of subs to see who gets the prize box. Whoa, I have a whole bunch of text messages from people about me quitting my job.
Well, we'll have to get to those later.
Yeah, they can wait.
We're gonna keep on cruising. Now let's get to the movie news.
No, damn, you're gonna keep getting me with that. How many items are on it?
Just 3 things. I want
A baker's dozen!
Oh my god, that's the other thing, Greg, is that we have to let's reach out to the people out there that watch us and listen to us and allow us to live this life that are much smarter than us.
Yeah, everyone who watches
literally everybody
smarter than us.
We need a new catchphrase.
See, here's my
thought.
thought.
Should we not try to replicate?
That's what I'm saying. My thought process. Here's the first thing:
is
that for the rest of our lives, we're gonna go to PAX. We're gonna go to E3, and people are gonna scream Beyond at us.
Right.
And that is amazing. For the rest of my life, I'll be streaming on Twitch, and people are gonna come and comment, "Oh, the IGN guy! Oh my god!" Because that's what I get lots of time when I stream. That's amazing. We love that. I don't think anybody is offended by that ever. So I say we let that ride, and then if something organically comes up, if something organically as part of this show becomes real, or because of Kind of Funny Games becomes a real deal, that's how we go with it. Because it's like when we try to pick names for the best friends, right?
Yeah.
And we pushed Jaspers for a while. We had it nailed with Scumbags. And then some guy who will remain nameless was like, "That's offensive to me."
Red Herring 92, if I can find him. Where is he? I lost Red Herring 92.
He's gone.
Basically he was saying that is Unpack It already kind of one of the things. But I would look at that more.
But I don't want to go to PlayStation Experience next year and have people Unpack It.
It's something.
Unpack It.
It's something to work with.
It sounds like something Fred Durst would yell right before he busted a rhyme.
Yeah.
Unpack it, Limp Bizkit in the house, y'all.
Oh man, Limp Bizkit. God
Can we
bless
agree he
those.
sucks?
Huh?
Can we agree
No.
Limp Bizkit sucks?
Limp Bizkit's
So
awesome.
you're gonna tell me everything by who is that? Train?
No, that's not Train.
Everything's gonna be alright.
That is.
Rockabye.
Where can I?
Bob Marley is what comes out.
Yeah,
Put
that's-
Rockabye in there. Put Rockabye in there. This is why we did the live show, so we could argue about
Sean Mullins,
Sean Mullins.
who I feel like.
Never heard of him before or after this.
But I feel like
How do you
wasn't he a singer in a band?
How do you get a song that popular and not have
No,
anybody
I
know
guess
who
not.
you are?
Anyway, no, I stand by my love of Limp Bizkit. Greg, are you ready for the movie news or what?
Yeah, real quick. People are yelling at Alfredo to mod them. I want Alfredo to know he's welcome to mod whoever needs to be mod.
Yeah, take care of it.
He knows the good people. Again, Alfredo's master of Twitch. We have so much to learn from him.
We
do have so much to
learn.
People keep telling us we need to hire Alfredo.
Well,
If you, we'll set a Patreon donation of $100,000. If you get to that milestone, then sure, we'll hire Alfredo. I'm just kidding, IGN. Don't get mad. We'd never hire him.
all right, here we go, Greg.
Let's go.
I want to let you know in January, at some various point this month, if not already, these are the movies. Some of the movies that are coming to Netflix this month. I want to get your take on.
I like this. This is actually helpful news. To
Yeah,
me.
exactly. Isn't this nice? Especially because Netflix is just, in terms of its interface, completely unusable. Like, you never have any idea what's going on
Yeah,
Netflix.
right. You go in there.
It's really a pain in the ass.
The worst is when you.
Amazon's even worse.
No, Amazon I like a lot lately, but I'm just going in and renting stuff, I guess. The problem with Netflix now is that I never want to try something that's borderline. Because if I do, then it's because you watched this. What,
Right.
you know,
No,
come
then
on,
you're
man.
screwed and you can't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Max is trying to tell you things. You ever use that
Oh,
before?
Max
He's
is
never
the-
right. He never
No.
finds anything I want.
Yeah, I'm Max.
All right. This isn't an exhaustive list, but I thought this was the list of movies that might be most relevant to us and our audience. Okay.
Okay.
101 Dalmatians, the Disney movie.
With like the animated one or the correct
The
Glenn
one
Close?
from the 90s, I
Glenn
think.
Close?
Yeah. Bad Boys 2, which I saw in the theater in 2003 for some
Of course
reason
it did.
in New York City.
Shit just got real. Or is that the first one? I don't even
Now,
remember.
I know you're going to be excited about this.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin.
It's a terrible movie, but yeah, why
But
not?
it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Bruce Almighty. Are you a fan of Bruce
I
Almighty?
liked Bruce Almighty, right? That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Now-
Be the miracle. Remember, that's how it ends. Spoiler alert. Be the miracle.
Now,
Jennifer Aniston.
there was
said it.
something really sad about...
boobs get bigger.
No, that's not... I'm thinking about a totally different movie. Never, not Bruce Almighty. What was the other Jim Carrey movie that was like...
Liar, liar.
No, right. It was in between Liar Liar and Bruce Almighty.
Can you give me any more?
The Truman Show.
Oh, the Truman Show's great. Real quick,
Yeah.
while we're on the topic of Netflix, Let's Get Lexi says, Colin, thoughts on Black Mirror on Netflix?
I saw that. I don't have any thoughts on that.
What is Black Mirror?
I
don't
have
know
no
what that
idea.
is. Oh, okay, good.
Should I know that?
Probably.
Castaway. With Tom Hanks.
Underrated movie for sure.
I think it's a rated movie.
You think it's properly rated?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people like that movie. I saw that movie at Christmas, I believe, in like what 2000, something like that.
Yeah, but I remember a lot of people hating on it. That they didn't like how long it was. They didn't like there was no soundtrack. They didn't like that. No, I didn't. I think it was better than popular opinion on Castaway. Wilson, that was a touching story. I cried.
That was a sad
choked
kind
up.
of thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I had a Wilson tennis ball, or not tennis ball. I had a Wilson antenna topper for my Ford Taurus.
Oh, nice.
Somebody stole it.
That was a really. I gotta watch that movie again. It was a very interesting movie.
Well, you can watch it now on Netflix.
No, that's a good call. Election, which I think is the Reese
Yep.
Witherspoon's.
Matthew Broadway.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Now here's a big one, and I'm interested in this one because we were talking about this show not too long ago about how we felt about it, and I don't know like what the people out there feel about the show, but Friends, the entire series is coming to Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
Or it might already be there.
Yeah, I think it might be up. A lot of people are doing it.
And you asked me what I think about that show, and I said
Because I had remembered you being outspoken about not liking it or something. Because I remember when Aisha Tyler was coming on the Game Over Greggy show, I wanted to bring that up or something because you had said something about it. So I was like, But then I asked you, and you downplayed it. Not that you hate it.
No, I think it's just I'm interested in it. Like it was always just there, right? It was
Yeah.
like as far as I understand, I remember on before Seinfeld. It was on at 8:30, right? And Seinfeld was on at 9.
Right. Well, for East Coasters, like
Right. And so I think
7:30 for me, yo.
Oh wow, it's really early. And so I think that I just kind of waited for it to be over. But I've laughed at the show. I don't mind that the show exists, and I'm kind of wondering if I should jump in and maybe watch it from front to back. So we'll see what
Real
happens.
quick, I want to point this out, then I want to talk more about Friends. Connor, with a 0 and a bunch of R's, asks, is Kind of Funny Games going to be at RTX? Of course we're going to be at RTX.
Definitely.
We love RTX. Colin's going to come. He's going to eat fried chicken at Gus's because it's amazing.
And we're going
now, not Gus's like Gus from Rooster Teeth.
Right.
There's a fried chicken place.
I mean, we could also say that can we say where we're going in March as well? Are we allowed to do
Hell
that?
yeah, PAX
We're going to
East.
PAX East as well. We'll be
Hell
at PAX
yeah.
East in Boston. I finally get to go to Northeastern for the first time since I graduated in 2007.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We got nothing to hide here, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, the Kevin Smith episode of podcast, God damn it. Tomorrow, the Kevin Smith episode of the Game Over Greggy Show goes live on youtube.com/kindafunny. On top of that, though, then next week, Troy Baker's going to be on this show. He'll be hanging out with us, talking about games and being that guy. Then I think it's that weekend or the next weekend, Felicia Day's going to roll through and do content with us, do a whole bunch of cool stuff. We are sitting pretty on having cool people on this show. And of course, don't disqualify all of our IGN friends and every friend, Jeff Gersman, whatever site he works for.
And just so people know, because they're asking us in the chat as well, we will not be at PAX South.
Yeah, PAX South.
in San Antonio.
No. Number one, it was one of those things that was coming up at a weird time, right? We're not sure. We're kind of being frugal, right? I don't know. Again, we quit IGN if you just joined the stream. We don't know how much money we make now. We have no idea what paychecks look like from this business. They'll be fine. We'll be all right as long as you keep supporting us on Patreon.com.
We'll get by.
But then on top of that, like PAX South isn't shaping up well, from what I hear.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
And it's the first PAX, I believe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember PAX East the first year having this much trouble. But PAX South isn't sold out. People were asking us if we're going. We said no. They're like, I'm going to sell my ticket. I've heard that there's not many new announcements planned. There's not even new announcements. Many developers who are like super stoked to go or do anything.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too from both sides, right?
Yeah.
From the audience and from publishers and developers.
Yeah.
And I really think it's a show exhaustion at this point. We
Sure.
were talking about that with PSX too. I think PSX works because it's first party driven and so you can kind of work that angle. But I really feel that PAX South is like the tip of the iceberg in terms of like what this deluge of stuff that publishers and developers don't want to deal with and don't want to keep up with. How many times are they going to show their game every year? How many times are they going to have a new build ready? And how many times is it going to be... They understand the territorial considerations of like, well, let's go into the South, let's go wherever we can to reach as many people as possible. But it's critical mass right now. And so I think PAX South is a one and done kind of thing. And I think that, like maybe they'll do another roving show somewhere else and try it again somewhere else. But I think PAX Prime and PAX East, pretty good place to be. Wedged in there with all the other things that publishers and developers have to deal with.
My thing is that I don't think, and I don't know if you know this. I've quoted this a few times on shows. I don't know business, and so
you don't?
No, I'm not. I don't have a business degree, but I think most of the times when you sign up to do these, like a PAX South or whatever, you have to sign like, all right, we'll do it for 3 years or whatever. And that's the other thing too is I don't think they can commit. If you're gonna do a giant show like this, I think you have to go in with the mindset that it's annualized. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's a lot like this show, right? Like what we're doing right here. I don't believe like today is what tomorrow's show is going to be like, or how many people come out and support us. Now, granted, it could go either way.
Right.
We're doing really well right now. People keep saying in the chat in terms of viewers. We hope you stick with us. We're streaming every day. We're doing Let's Plays after this today. But you imagine word of mouth to grow. Like the example is PSX, right? Mm-hmm. Like PlayStation Experience. You and I kept saying it was like, this is the perfect amount of people. This is the perfect show. You can go up to anything. You wait maybe for one person to finish. Then you get in, you play your game, you have a great time. But next year is going to be crazy because now they've proven this is a cool show. You know what I mean? They're going to do PlayStation Experience again, and now more people are going to want to come. And then the next year, more people. You know what I mean?
Right,
as long as you keep having great events, it'll be great. And it's the same thing with PAX South. If they go there and they have a great PAX and everybody's like, great, they'll leave and they'll tell their friends how great it was, and then people are like, well, I have to go.
Yeah, the shame about PSX, and we said this when we were there, was that it'll just never be like that again.
I know, right? It was so much fun.
That was a really great show.
Now, Crasian 5000 says, come to PAX Australia, please.
PAX Australia, if we could, that's going to be a heavy lift for us.
Yeah. You gotta help. You gotta find us a sponsor. What Half Brick Games are down there. You need me to host a fruit and eat in Japan? I'll come do that. That'd be an easy way to do it, I think.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
That plane ride to Australia scares me a little bit, but it doesn't seem quite as extreme.
How long is it? It's like long.
It's gotta be like what, from LA or San Francisco, about 14, 15, 16 hours, something like that. Which is pretty extreme, but that's not too much more.
Japan's like 12.
Yeah, Japan's 12, and getting to Europe from here, going to like London from here is like 14, so it's not that much worse.
CDR Shepard yells, "Will you cover Xbox games as?" And then he says, "Well, normally."
Yes, we will.
I'm gonna stream Sunset Overdrive. I still never played Sunset Overdrive. I'm so sorry, Marcus. I'm gonna finally start it.
We've been very busy these last 3 months. I haven't been playing as much as I want to play. So to get through the rest of the things coming to Netflix, French Connection, the 1971 version, War of the Worlds, the 53 version, and Wayne's World 2 are also coming to Netflix, or it might already be there at this point. And Amazon, I'm excited about these, Greg.
Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop 2 and 3. Big Fish, Bottle Rocket, which is one of the great movies of the 90s.
yeah.
Breakfast at Tiffany's, the 1961 version. Footloose, Hoosiers, which is a great movie.
Hoosiers, yeah.
Mr. Mom is coming.
Oh yeah, I love Mr. Mom.
Snatch, which is a great turn of the century movie.
Yeah, see, I remember watching Snatch, but I don't remember anything about Snatch anymore.
Oh, I love that movie. That movie's hysterical.
Brad Pitt, you can't understand Brad Pitt, and then that one tall guy who would go on to be the tall guy and everything
Right.
is there, and he fights things.
And then Swingers,
People.
and for Long Islanders like me, the Amityville Horror and the Amityville Horror 2 will both be there as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, the producer/seducer Nick Scarpino just walked in the room.
What's up, man? What can I do for you today?
Oh, you guys sound great.
Some people were complaining that I look blurry. If we've lost focus again on this thing.
It's probably because you were waving things in front of the camera.
You know what? The show's got a show, is what I always say.
All right. Greg, where do you want to go from here?
Let's look in the chat. Let's see. People are saying they second the idea of a calendar for the stream events. This is something we struggle with. We put up so much content. We want
Yeah.
to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
What's the easiest way to do it?
It's a big issue. I mean, because we realized when we were planning all this stuff and just talking about it that we couldn't even keep a lot of the stuff straight ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
We have Kind of Funny, and then we spawned Kind of Funny Games. We have the Game Over Greggy show. Now we have the Kind of Funny Games cast. We have Colin and Greg live. We have our Let's Play series. We have all these things. And so we think, and then we have our Patreons. And so I think the best way for us to figure this out moving forward is to drive people to kindoffunny.com.
Yeah.
And they can get all of our videos as they stream there and get all of the links that kind of will disperse you around the internet to all the different things we do.
Twitter, we keep up with, and everything else. Now, real quick, to show what kind of power you have on this thing. We were just talking about that. God damn it, now it's starting to move again. Oh, no. Clauder3 says, Greg and Colin, when not gaming, is there any way you can take down the stream on the top left until you start streaming again? It's a little distracting. We'll take it down. I left it up in case Twitch was going to yell at us.
I saw someone say in the Twitch stream, and I'm sorry that I missed your name because it's moving so fast and I have to figure out how to use this better. Someone said that you could do it you could set it not as a game stream but as a talk show and just do your thing. But I don't know if that's true or not.
We'll look into it.
I mean, I literally know next to nothing.
I was under the impression you couldn't, but whatever. People are yelling for the calendar now. Here's my thing about the calendar that I don't understand, and I'll need the chat to correct me. You're saying the calendar for the stream. The stream is pretty simple. 11 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday, Colin and I doing this. Then at 2 p.m., we play games. And we hang out and we do stuff. If you're a Game Over Greggy Twitch subscriber, we need to talk about what we're going to do for the future. Because I usually used to stream every night, Monday, but now my job is to stream. So that's a little bit better. We'll figure that out. But yeah,
This is true. You can put playing gaming talk show.
Oh, okay. Let's do that then. You can, says Alfredo in all caps. Woo, we're learning, everybody.
So, yeah, I think that's a good idea, though. We should have a calendar. Now, you can... A great way to keep up with what we're doing on the fly, and we'll let you know ahead of time, is to follow us on Twitter at KindaFunnyVids. And you can find us on Facebook at KindaFunnyVids, too.
Yeah,
And we have to be more active about being on there. We're going to sort all this stuff out. We apologize for not proliferating more socially because we've been so busy. Twitter's really a great place to follow us right now, but we're going to try to fix that. We want to be where you are.
That's the big thing that I talk about a lot with what we're doing and why we left IGN, right? Is the fact that people kept saying, man, are you nervous about leaving IGN and going to do this? And I'm like, man, honestly, I'm just so excited to have one job again. Because what it's been is like, yeah, things fall through the cracks. Like we weren't updating the Kind of Funny Facebook page and the Google Plus page and all these different things. We're not properly liking videos and all these things. And it's the reason of I can't go to IGN and do all the Kind of Funny stuff. You know what I mean? Like what it was is we went to IGN, killed ourselves for IGN, did all the stuff we wanted, kept being the people we want to be at IGN, and then come home and do all of that for Kind of Funny. And like if you were a Patreon sub and we needed to get you a poster, we needed to do the hangouts, you noticed they were all coming communications at night, and then I was always planning on the weekends. So that literally any waking hour was working one of the two jobs.
By the way, I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm trying.
My company's Twitch got banned for a week for not having a game on screen for too long.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what people are talking about.
We got to figure out. We'll figure it out after this. We're not worried about it right now. I agree with you, Greg, in the sense that we were burning the midnight oil, right? A lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like, one thing that we haven't touched upon that I think is salient to this conversation is that I feel like by leaving IGN and by focusing on Kind of Funny and Kind of Funny Games, our own enterprise, the things we own and love to do the most, that the content's just going to get better that we were already doing because now we're not working those 8 and 10 hour days like you were saying. Then getting home, like, Game Over Greggy's show will no longer be recorded at 8 at night. Now we'll record it maybe in the middle of the day. Like
we won't be exhausted and totally incoherent.
Yeah, I mean, this was a
Nick
choice.
Scarpino won't look like he just went 30 rounds of shadow boxing.
I mean, this is a choice we ultimately had to make, I think, because, and it's an interesting way of looking at it, and I'm not even sure I've thought about it that much, but just in terms of the content will be better, you'll be happier as the people that consume our content, and and you're still going to get a lot of the same stuff that you love us for anyway. So,
Good.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Let's end with one final story, Greg.
Okay.
This one's TV's.
We're going to keep talking, though, after
Of course. This one's TV driven, and I think that I think this is interesting. I saw this on Deadline today when I was browsing around the internet looking for some stories, and it's still a little slow out there. January 5th.
People are coming back.
Yeah,
that's why we came out and we're like, ah!
Yeah. And punched the internet in the face.
And the internet's like, stop, and we're like, never.
So Sci-Fi, for some, who for some reason made
Careful
their name
insulting?
SYFY.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I hate that spelling,
I don't
right?
understand why they did
Sci-Fi was so perfect before.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Anyway, they're making a show about real life hackers.
And this is like a documentary on them,
like a show that I guess like documents what real hackers are doing. And this is what Deadline said about us. This is Deadline verbatim. On the heels of one of the biggest hacking scandals in U.S. corporate history, the cyber attack on Sony Pictures Entertainment, Sci-Fi is putting in development Hackers, a reality series, quote, which will take viewers deep inside the shadowy and dangerous world of high-tech hackers, end quote. It comes from Relativity Television, which is behind another series about cyber dangers, MTV's Catfish, based on the documentary film. And I've never seen the show, but I saw the documentary on a flight back from Cologne, Germany.
Yeah.
And I really liked it very much, yeah. According to the network, hackers will reveal the secrets behind the most infamous cyber crimes ever committed using sophisticated digital graphics to create an experiential, quote-unquote, hacking scene that exposes what actually happens when a computer network is broken into, including what goes on inside the mind of the hacker. Each episode of Hackers will focus on true stories ripped from the headlines of real hackers who turned entire industries upside down, featuring interviews with both the actual perpetrators and the law enforcement agents who tracked them down. So I think that sounds pretty interesting.
If it's tracking them down, Dog the Bounty Hunter style, taking them out.
Dog the Bounty Hunter. That was a show. That was a show, my friend.
Yeah. No, okay, I like that. I thought it was going to be them profiling them as they did bad things. If it's trying to catch them and, put them in containment units, I'm all about it.
My assumption is that there has to be some cooperation with the hackers, though, to get them on to do the show, right? I mean, unless it's like Rescue 911 or something like that, where it's just like a reproduction of.
I was telling somebody the other day they need to bring that show
back.
I'm
surprised they haven't brought Rescue 911 was the jam. Remember when the ambulance would roll up and all that? That was a great.
I always remember if you saw the helicopter on the commercial break, you knew it was the last commercial break or whatever. You're like, oh, show's ending. William Shatner, come on, Shat, get out there, do Rescue 911 again.
Yeah, that's right. God, that was such a long time ago. We're old.
We are old, yeah. It struck me as old yesterday. You're cooking dinner. Mm-hmm. A lovely dish out of Every Day with Rachel Ray magazine, an amazing publication. And Christine likes that Total Divas, which is the show with the wrestling women. It's totally fake, but it's a reality show. Right. That ended and Kardashians came on. And she was like, hey, you're going to laugh at this, come on. And one of the guys to the girl was like, hey, do you want to go see Something Pains? And she's like, that show with Alan Thicke? And the guy's like, that's been off the air for 15 years. Do you think that's a real... And I was like, it's been off way longer than 15.
15 years?
15 years ago was 2000. That is like, I can't... That is like so hard to wrap your head around.
It's crazy.
And I watched Men, Women, and Children the other day. This movie from Jason Reitman. And in that, there's these kids in high school, and they're tasked with interviewing someone that remembers 9/11. And I was like, oh my God.
It's so weird.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
It's so weird how far we've come.
Yeah. You and I are the internet.
Just time. Just time generally.
Just the fact that we're still alive.
Yeah. So that's all the news I have, Greg, to fill up that hour, and I'm wondering where we should go from here. Do we want to recap do we want to go to the readers, or I guess you should say the listeners, the viewers?
The viewers, listeners, yeah. A lot of people are popping in. They're trying to catch up on some people are at. But our chat's doing very well at keeping them up to date on what's happening. Yes,
Good.
We quit IGN. Podcast Beyond will continue indefinitely. I'm doing 2 more Up at Noons. Next Monday will be an Up at Noon where I tell the audience of Up at Noon I'm leaving Up at Noon and also introduce Max as the new host. I hope that was public knowledge. Then the week after that I'll do a final Up at Noon and then say my goodbyes. Max take over the show. Him and Brian will take it to bold new areas. Mm-hmm. You and I will do Beyond for the foreseeable future. When we decide, or IGN decides it's time to end that, we'll tell you ahead of time. You're briefed, and we'll do one final show.
That's the thing is, I know some people were disappointed today on Twitter. I was trying to do my best to keep up with everyone.
It's impossible.
And it's impossible, and I apologize. I couldn't respond to
Thank
people.
Thank you so much.
I basically only responded to people that popped up on my main feed that I follow.
Yeah.
But I tried to tweet out once or twice. We really appreciate the warm regard that you guys gave us this morning.
Yeah.
But one of the things people were just, because people were making assumptions and not having watched the video is obviously a very visceral kind of thing that they learn about. You guys are just saying goodbye and no goodbye. Like, no. Unless something terrible happens, which I don't anticipate it's going to, we will know when our last episode is, and you will know it too before it happens on Podcast Beyond.
And to credit, I mean, like that for me is a huge credit to IGN, the staff, the management staff there. Tal, Pear, Fran, like they were all very vocal of like. We told them we're leaving, we're transitioning out. This is, the 5th is our day of starting. They could have, said, okay, you need to transition new hosts now, and you need to tell you need, because we wanted to do it all in one day to get this kind of reaction, have everybody on board, be a story, and talk about it. They could have easily said, no, that doesn't work for IGN. They could have said, leave right now, like way before we were ready. They could have done a million things. Instead, they've been awesome and very much like, we want this. They're very clear that they want the best for IGN, they want the best for us, and they want the best for the audience. They don't want the Beyond audience to get a podcast tomorrow that's Marty trying to figure out how to work everything and be hey guys, I've been on vacation and I don't know what's
And this gives Marty time too to figure out, should he take the podcast over upon our exit, what he wants Podcast Beyond to be, because it's not going to be the Roper Report and the Andrew Goldfarb list and all those kinds of things anymore. I mean, that's kind of our shtick, and I think they all recognize that, and so that gives him time to kind of marinate and figure out like what he wants to do with the show as well, and the direction they want to pull it. Because again, we don't own it. We wish we could do the show forever, like we said, but it's just not ours. And so you'll know Podcast Beyond will go on. With or without us.
Josh Luck 95. Now Colin and Greg have left IGN. The support of the Vita is dead.
I know. I'm sorry.
We're gonna support the Vita here. Yeah. This is what I'm talking about. This is what when I tell PR people about what we're doing in this show, what I get excited to talk to them about is I'm like, you remember all those times you wanted to come on up at noon and you said, well, do you do Skype interviews? And I was like, no. Here we do. We can totally bring people on and do a 10-minute segment of us talking about
and
your cool Vita game. Exactly. Business at kindoffunny.com. Hit us up if you want to be on the show, be part of that. That's for everybody out there. I think we want this to be a show that is inclusive, and we're bringing people in and we're showing you new cool things and we're learning cool new things and we're growing together.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And I'm super excited to see where it goes. And like I said, it's very contingent on the feedback we get from the viewers out there about what they want us to do and the balance that we strike between those interviews and the two of us and games versus other entertainment and movie content. That's all stuff we're going to figure out as time goes on, and I'm super excited to see like how we mold it. And I do want to reiterate, because you've said it before, and I do want to jump in real quick about IGN and what they've done for us and what they've given us. A very hearty and heartfelt shout out to Fran Mirabella, to Tal Blevins, and to Per Schneider, who have been nothing but good to us. Nothing but really awesome to us and patient with us, and we worked together for many years. I've known them for a very long time. Like as I said in my goodbye email to those guys, I've known them since I was 18 and I'm 30 now, and so it's I really do want to appreciate them, and I really do encourage you all to continue to use and read. We'll be here with your content, but IGN's going to be there with the content you always know and love too.
Yeah, exactly.
And so no hard feelings there whatsoever.
Yeah. Real quick. Walkie 407 is Colin changing his PSN name?
Well, I can't change my PSN name, and I don't really want to change my PSN name. I mean, that's IGN's part of my heritage, and that's not going to change. So when that option comes to PSN, maybe I'll consider it, but I'm not really too worried about it. I'm happy to be associated with IGN. I mean, that's not something Greg and I are going to be able to break. It's like when Michael Jordan. Let's call Greg Michael Jordan.
Thank you. You're Scottie Pippen.
That's great. I appreciate that. And Greg
so
played for the Bulls, and he's always going to be known to play for the Bulls, even though he also played for another team.
There's an old IGN story that old Podcast Beyond fans know, right? Of that time you and I, when we first really bonded at E3, got shirtless, got drunk, and pounded on the table that had the IGN logo, and talked about how much IGN meant to us and how much we loved it. And we said when we were both in charge, and when we were both going to be executive editors, which would be like EICs of the channels, we were going to get IGN tattoos, and I wanted to get mine on the wrist. And then obviously you came over to be an editor, you got on the PlayStation team, so you couldn't be at the same time as me. Then I became, and things just got crazier than what we originally thought. Somebody said to me the other day, like, "Oh man, thank God you never got that IGN tattoo." And I was like, "Dude, I still wish I would have. I still, I mean, now I wouldn't, because obviously we're moving on to something different. But like, if I had that, like, IGN will always be remembered for the 8 amazing years I had there, and they changed my life, and they did so much for me. And the fact that like there's no hard feelings, you know what I mean? Like, it's definitely bittersweet to leave, right? Like, we left of our own accord, super excited. Please keep subscribing and donating and Patreoning. But like, it's still bittersweet. Like that, I for a long time would reflexively call the IGN office home. I'm going home. You know what I mean? Because like in San Francisco, you move a lot. You know what I mean? And like that was a place where all my friends lived. That's where my things lived, my things I loved. You know what I mean? Other than Portillo here, everything that was under one roof there, and like that isn't lost. You know what I mean? Because we're off to do this, and we don't want anything bad for them. I'm so happy they got Max. I'm so happy Brian's staying on. I'm so happy the shows are going to continue and evolve and change. You know what I mean?
Right.
At Beyond 300, I got interviewed by a guy who was doing a blog for IGN about Beyond 300. And he asked me, and I think I broke down in tears right before this or after it. But
You do that often.
I am such a baby, but it's just I'm so emotional. I wear my heart on my sleeve, Colin. You're the heart of the New Yorker. You've seen some things.
I've seen a lot of things.
You've seen the Long Island Railroad. Mm-hmm. You know
I've
about
seen it. I've seen it's a set of tracks.
He asked me, is there a podcast Beyond without Greg Miller? And my response was, I hope so. You know what I mean? Like in college, I was a part of the Antlers, right? And I loved the fact that I didn't start the Antlers and I didn't end the Antlers. They go on. I was part of a legacy, a tapestry of something that was there. You know what I mean? And for Beyond, we started Beyond. You know what I mean? Like I was on episode 1, and I wasn't like the host or anything, but I was there, so I technically started with it. And I want to see it go. I want to see it get to episode 400. I want to see it to episode 500. I want to look back. I want to be interviewed in another 5-10 years about the IGN's 20th, 25th anniversary. You know what I mean? Like my part of that legacy.
Right.
And that's what I want. I don't want anything to leave and fail.
No, exactly. And we're always going to be intrinsically tied to the DNA of the website, and that's never going to change. So. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Just Woolly Carrot brings up a great thing that I mentioned in the. There's a lot happening today, and I'm running on a little sleep because we had so much to get ready. Woollier Carrot says, can we have the last 10 minutes a sub Q&A? I forgot that being a sub gets you the emoticons, it gets you time to play with us, it gets you all this cool stuff, it gets you entered to win the sub prize box that we're slowly building, which we added a t-shirt and this, but it also gets you private sub time. So at some point we will flip the chat to be sub only. Not yet. We're not wrapping up yet.
No. Yeah, soon though. Soon.
Okay. You're hosting. You're driving.
Yeah, I think.
When you think we got 10 to 15 left, let me know and we'll flip that over.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Yeah, I think we've said everything we need to say about all of that, and we just felt like the internet's evolving in a way that couldn't be accommodated for us on IGN anymore, and so we needed to go and do our own thing, and that's it. And so we'll always be part of the family. Yeah, we have to. The thing I said, and I said many times, was it's better to have taken the jump and know what happens, even if you fail, than to have never known what would happen if we jumped. Right. There are so many people that wish that they were in our positions that we have to pay homage to that and do what we think is best for the audience and do what's best for us and do what's best for, all that kind of stuff. So
it's funny. I mean, how many people have we seen come and go at IGN? And I remember when people would leave, because like I came and started and legitimately would say like, I hope I work here for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And so when you'd see people leave for other jobs, other websites, other, whatever, it was always like so weird. Like, why would you go? We're IGN's #1. It's amazing. We have all these opportunities. And then for me to get to be, luckily, one of the faces of IGN, if not the face, like, to leave all that behind is tough, but it's also, I felt like I had grown or done all I could with that. You know what I mean? Like, I could go back and I hope to come back and host Comic-Cons and E3 with them and do video things, as like I was saying, as a freelance host or for some other stuff. Kind of funny. But part of it was, I was like, what I need to go have new experiences to continue learning and growing and being something different, if that makes sense.
It does. It makes perfect sense. And I think, I'm a writer first and foremost, right? And I always consider myself that. And I'm blessed enough to be able to continue that at various outlets and a lot of conversations going on. And we'll figure out where all that lands. And you'll still be able to find me on IGN at least once a week. Sorry. But this is an exciting new thing. And I'm really honored and blessed to be able to take this jump with you and with Tim and Nick. And I've learned a great deal about all the little things that go into making something like this happen. Without the technical expertise of Nick and the strategy and tactical knowledge, inherent knowledge that Tim has, in addition to our game and hosting knowledge, this wouldn't have been possible. So while you're not going to see Tim and Nick on this show often, if ever, maybe, I don't know. I mean,
they're going to have to fill in for hosts sometimes.
Yeah, I think that you have to know that they're a huge, major, significant part of what we've done. And the four of us, like I said, and I use the analogy many times, the four of us just held hands and jumped off a cliff. And we're going to see what happens and how we land and how violently we land or how comfortably we land will really be contingent on your guys' support.
Kodak Heart says, I respected the hell out of you guys before, but the fact that you guys are doing what you want and following your dreams, so much more respect. You guys effing rock. Thank you for that. And what you're saying is, imagine, I always think back to when I started the YouTube thing, right? And I came back from VidCon because IGN sent me to learn about YouTube for Up at Noon. Kind of blew up in their face. When I came back though, and I talked to you about like we should do this show where I talk to you, and you're like, I don't know if I say crazy stuff, and blah, blah. And Nick and Tim were like, oh, we'll totally come shoot. And I was like, cool, we're gonna monetize. Do you want some money? And they're like, you're not gonna make any money, no. You know what I mean? And if they had not helped us, or if they had not seen the potential in what we were doing, this wouldn't exist.
No, absolutely.
We would have stopped a long time ago. When I got sick with cancer, I had to take that break, you know what I mean? Like, it was burning me out editing all the... I would take a day off work to edit an entire season of Conversation with Colin. Like, I couldn't have kept that up. You know what I mean? If you guys hadn't come in to help us, to be part of it, there's no way it would have worked.
And I think that we have to, Nick with filming and with cutting, knows so much, just his knowledge of these things and his ability to be the adult that we really needed. And I'm not saying that we're not all adults. I think we are, but the things that Nick has done for us that will go unstated or unknown are myriad, because it's he got us our health care. Like, he got us our payroll stuff done. He was doing all the legal stuff. And
right now, the website, kindoffunny.com, is being redesigned. And this morning, the designer hit me up with a question, and I just said, I got to find Nick. Because you're asking things I've never even looked at how we build the site, let alone the thing you're doing. So. And
then with Tim, amazing. Of course, agonizing over
thumbnails.
I wrote an email to you guys yesterday, just pre-launch. I'm really proud of everything you guys have done. And one of the things I said to Tim, which I think is so easy to understate when you don't understand it, and I didn't understand it, was the few words you use to title a video and what they mean, and the thumbnail and the perspective of the thumbnail and how it gets people interested in a video and all these kinds of things, and when to put a video up and how to word this. It's like, this is really essential stuff, that we don't know. And we might know games, we might know how to be in front of a camera and be stupid. We've been doing it for a very long time.
We know how to do that.
But we don't know those things, and so God bless those guys. And
that's part of the reason why this is so exciting. Why we want to do. We each bring something different to the table, right? Like, I bring a loud, obnoxious personality and the ability to have genuine relationships, I think, with the people who watch and consume our content, right? You're an amazing writer. I still think you are the star of every show we do, just based on the fact of, you're like Kramer, you know what I mean? You might say Seinfeld, but you're Kramer, and everybody loves Kramer, right? You're a great writer. You have all these opinions. You know everything, right? And then everything you just said about those two guys. We come here and we get to do that and unify that and go and make something together. And, I was always talking about it, what's exciting for me is, no matter what we do, it's now on us if it succeeds or fails, right? IGN's a big site, a big company, and that's awesome. This is not a knock, but I'd put something up on IGN up at noon or whatever, right? And if it didn't get slotted in the covers right away, it would go through the blog roll, drop off, and then go. And so then in my head, I'm like, up at noon underperformed this week. It's not because of the guest, because the guest was great. It's not because maybe it was placement, maybe it was this, maybe I should have done. It's but there's so many cooks in the kitchen on that one. Not to say too many cooks.
Oh. All right, so let's wrap it up, Greg.
Let's switch over to sub chat only.
So well, should we? How do we want to do this? Because we have to figure this out on the fly. Should I say goodbye to everyone and they still get to watch?
Or? Oh no. So
okay, I understand.
All that'll happen is you know how crazy the chat is.
Right. Okay.
Right now, only subs will be able to talk to us.
Okay.
If you're not a sub, and again, you don't have to be. Keep your money if you can't spare the money. It's totally fine. You can still watch the show with us. You can still watch the chat. You just won't be able to contribute. We'll do it 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll end the show. Then we'll come back at 2 p.m. to stream the rest of the day. Hang out, play video games together. I'm probably going to drink a beer.
You have a beer?
I think I'm going to have a little bit of beer, a little bit of the old adult juice. Celebrate what we're doing. Do you read me?
All right, so here's all the pertinent information you guys need to know out there. You can find all of our information at the videos, links to the Patreon, all that kind of stuff at kindoffunny.com. If you want to support us on Patreon, we really appreciate that. Remember, we have 2 different subscriptions. One for Kind of Funny, which is the stuff we've already been doing, plus we're going to be doing some new movie, TV, comic book kind of content over there. And occasionally, I assume we'll talk about games on Game Over Greggy's show. You can find us there at patreon.com/kindoffunny. If you want to support our games initiative, which is the Kind of Funny Games Cast, which is all of our Let's Plays and new series that are going to come up, and the Colin and Greg Live. I was going to say Colin and Greg show. I mean, that works too, I guess. You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames. We really appreciate your support. If you can help us out, that's great. If not, everything will be available for you, and everything will be clear eventually, Greg. We have a lot of things to figure out ourselves. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do that. You can follow Kind of Funny at Kind of Funny Vids. Kind of Funny Vids. Please do follow us there. We're going to be tweeting out a lot of our stuff. And you can also follow us on Facebook. Facebook.com/kindoffunnyvids.
Tomorrow's the Kevin Smith podcast.
Yep, Kevin Smith's podcast. We went to LA and we're in Kevin Smith's house for 4 hours and we recorded his podcast and our podcast. So our podcast goes live tomorrow and I think his goes live later in the week.
Yeah, that's right. Friday, I think, is what they were talking about. But we audibled our dates, so who knows if they're audibling theirs.
Yeah, we'll figure out.
Go to Hot Pepper Gaming. Watch my Hot Pepper Gaming.
Yep.
Watch his Hot Pepper Gaming later this week.
Greg's Hot Pepper Gaming's live today. Mine will be live, I think, on Thursday. Of course, Game Over Greggy Show, all that kind of stuff will continue unabated. You can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud and all that kind of stuff as well. So we really do appreciate your guys' support. We hope that you'll be willing to take this jump or at least give us a chance. Yeah. We very much appreciate you. So thank you so much. We'll be back live at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow with another episode. So let's move on to the...
Now I'm hitting this. Okay. Now it is officially... All right, subs only chat right now. So now the chat will slow down. All of our amazing people who jump. What blew me away today, Colin.
Oh dear, what have you done?
I expected the support. Don't worry, it's just a stupid thing being stupid. I can't get this away. That's the main thing.
Hit the gear.
I'm trying to. All right, there we go. Sub hype is real, says Wonder Kid. The way to kick off the new year, says Humming Tiger. Man, there's still a lot of people here. What blew me away today is that we announced what we're doing. We put it all out there, and we had like 27 subs at like 10 o'clock in the morning, an hour before we had ever done anything on this channel. Thank you so much for your trust. Thank you so much for the people who obviously have popped in today and done all these things with us. Thank you for the 6,000 people who are watching concurrently. That is crazy. I hope you'll stick around. We're going to do 4-player Smash later today. I'm gonna eventually play Destiny again because I love that Destiny. I gotta do it. Panda Musk was yelling at me today. Of course, Panda Musk. If you go to youtube.com/kindafunny, you can see the Kevin Smith teaser trailer. Hear a little short bit of the podcast. Panda Musk animated all of that for us. Amazing dude. And then he was yelling at me that I'm not high enough level. I'm like, how do you do what you do behind the scenes that we can't talk about, and you shouldn't be caring about us at all, let alone animate, let alone have high level.
Yeah, he's an interesting man. He's. I mean, if there's one thing I'd say about Panda, that dude's ambitious.
Yeah,
he's got ambition, and he's a hard worker and a go-getter. Yeah. So let's jump into the chat.
Strategist can be. Would you say that? Can be.
Strategist can be.
He says, "Sorry guys, but Patreon confuses me. I'll support on Twitch. That's perfectly cool. Fine. You don't. Again, no. At no point do we want anybody to feel guilty that they can or can't do it. I want to make sure that's incredibly clear. That no matter if you just watching this video, you just watching a YouTube video, you tweeting about us. That's good enough for us. Don't worry about
absolutely. Please don't feel obligated to give us any money. We appreciate it if you can, but please don't feel obligated to do that.
This is a tease, I think, for a conversation with Colin's coming back. No Madudis says, you guys are awesome, and I can't wait for the future. Colin, are you planning on watching Star Wars Episode 7?
I am, but we'll talk about that more on a conversation with Colin.
Yeah.
We can tell you that right now.
This season.
One of the episodes of this season, and I think Conversation with Colin rolls out this week. If I
right, it's back this week. Yeah,
one episode a week.
Yeah, I think we did a review embargo.
I think we did 12 of them.
Yeah,
and
like that.
So you'll
there's
have
12
one
Patreon
consecutive weeks plus one Patreon exclusive, so 13 episodes.
That on the tier so people will know. Tubbo Mayo. Oh, you like that?
Oh, that's my dude.
I got the opportunity to meet you guys last April during my anniversary at an Up at Noon taping. Just wanted to say thanks, congrats, and I'm looking forward to the jump to the new format. You guys helped me get through some grad school, and hard times with school/life. I appreciate it more than you know.
We thank you.
We appreciate you more than you know. I hope you know that. Like I said, that's how this whole best friend thing works, right? And I know it sounds goofy, but every time I meet somebody, whether it was Frank Furlano up in Toronto, or whether it's just somebody in a Twitch chat and they say, you got me through this, or you're there for me, you guys are there for us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, an interesting thing for me, right, was when I noticed I was excited to come home and not play games. I was excited to come home and make content for you guys. You know what I mean? I still love games. Don't get me wrong. Clearly, I'm going to be playing them nonstop here, doing all these amazing things for you, with you. But it was one of those things where I was super excited instead to come home and I want to make a conversation with Colin. I want to do that. I want to review Oreos. You know what I mean? That was a weird transition, and now it's nice, again, for the second time in my life, I guess. Second time in my life. I don't know what point it was. Second time in my life. To make my passion and what I do for enjoyment my career.
Right.
Which is super exciting.
No, it is cool. You guys have given us great opportunities that we're never going to take for granted, that we are incredibly humbled by.
RM Network says, Greg, are you still going to be on the podcast this Thursday? This is Seth, by the way. Seth, yes! This is, I don't know if you noticed, it was a calculated move on my part to book. I'm on a podcast every day going forward because I knew I wanted to do this and I wanted to get back to have, this is what I was talking about again with these kids, right? And I call everybody kids, by the way. I reached out to all these people who people have been emailing me a long time saying, I want to be on the podcast. I'm like, sure. And I dropped their email into a little folder that says podcast to go on. And it was one of those things that working 2 jobs, where do I fit that in and not rob Christine of seeing me or like walking Portillo or something, you know what I mean?
I don't know how Rob she would really feel, but it's a nice thought.
She'd just go in there and play some video game and forget all about me. But you know what I mean? Like, balancing your work and life is really hard when there's 2 things. So now that there's just one thing and I have afternoons to do what I want with, whether it be, edit video, whether it be stream with you guys, yeah, I'm down to do it. And like I said, hit me up. Kind of funny. No, that's not a real thing. Hold on. Hit me up. You can just hit me up at greg@kindafunny.com, business@kindafunny.com. Like, there's all these email addresses. We want to be part of this.
Reach out, tweet out. Please keep in touch with us.
AntRam0431 says, I created this Twitch account and subbed just because of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
We appreciate it.
Well, I'm looking for a good question for you now.
Oh, it's okay. Whatever's clever.
Whatever's clever, bro.
It's all about you, Greg.
Oh. No, why do you gotta be like that? Box's Best says, in my heart and soul, I can only justify supporting you wonderful people through one method. My question is, what method is best for you? If I am ready to contribute $5 a month, is it the best you get it through Twitch, through Patreon? Thank you guys. Love you so much. There's a lot of boring business answers to that in terms of who gets how much of what cut and da-da-da-da. I want to put that aside.
That's not relevant to me.
Exactly. It's how do you think your $5 would be best spent? Would you like Kind of Funny Gamescast early as an MP3? Would you like the Game Over Greggy show early as an MP3 and get exclusive episodes over there? Or would you rather subscribe here and get an entry into the prize box, get this exclusive chat right now, do all these different things? Like that's totally up to you, and we don't care either way. You could just tip it. You could just put it in a little Christmas card, send it to us. We don't care.
Yep. Whatever you think's best for you and the way you want to consume our content.
A smart man once said, whatever's clever. Oh, here we go. Logash1 says, let's talk about content, guys. Colin, JRPG show or Colin Fireside Chat? Maybe we can even have a video series of Greg hugging Portillo. Possibilities are endless.
They are endless. I mean, one of the things we want you guys to know, though, is that we really do feel like, in a way, less is more, right? Like, if you sit down at your computer and you get home from work, or you got kids, you got a family, whatever you got to deal with, how much time do you really have to consume 5, 6, 7 hours of content every day, right? You don't.
Yeah.
Like, we want to give you the best content that we know you can consume in a reasonable amount of time. So we're not going to do like 5 shows a day and have 20 different rotating series and all those kinds of things. As much as we'd love to do that, there's only 4 of us, and I do think that that's the best way forward for Kind of Funny, is to give you guys premium or high quality content that entertains you but doesn't overwhelm you.
Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure we're giving you the best quality content and on a schedule that makes sense, that you actually consume it all, right? We don't want to go back to what I was talking about earlier, right, where we're putting heart and soul into a product and putting it out, and then not many people are seeing it because we already put out so much other stuff.
Right. We want you to see what we're doing, and I think that's the best way forward for us. So an RPG show would be awesome, but we would need to see some demand for that, I think, to consider something like that.
Wesley Ray 1108 says, so am I correct in saying that donating on Patreon only gets you early access to videos and stuff? Yes.
Yeah, and depending on your tier, you get audio as well.
Oh, sure, yeah. I thought and stuff included that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you get there's exclusive episodes, there's exclusive Q&As that are live, there's stuff like that. There's exclusives that way, and then obviously, early access to all the shows. The Kind of Funny Gamescast, the Game Over Greggy show would post on Fridays, and then the next week they'd be broken out for free on YouTube before the whole episode went up on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube,
right.
blah, blah.
I'm intrigued by this question, Greg.
Whatever's clever.
Where is it here?
Potato wheelchair?
Yeah, potato wheelchair. He said, oh, no, that's not it. Where? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Bassman or Bassman Rake.
Yeah, I know Bassmasters.
Will you guys be doing as much E3 coverage as you guys did for IGN?
No.
I think the answer for that is definitively no. Now, we'll be at E3, and the beauty of us going to E3 now is that we don't have to work 18 hours a day. So we can do just the content that's really most interesting. My vision for it, and we don't know what's going to happen, is I'd love to do like a pre and post show if we can, for a stream of some sort to kind of like surround and flank the various conferences, and we'd love to do some interviews. And we're going to be at E3. We just have to kind of figure that out. That's far away, but no, we are not going to have 8 billion things that we're going live.
I mean, the idea with the Colin and Greg live here, right, is that this is daily, even if we do go to PAX, if we do something, you know what I mean? Now, granted, that all comes down to internet and capabilities, you know what I mean? Like, hotels suck, right? So we have to figure out some kind of stuff like that. There's a lot of hurdles for us to get going, but we'll be at these shows, we'll be doing content like this, and then it can be, we can do sub-only. You can say, please go play Game X, and we can go play Game X, and the next day on the live show, talk to you about it, or something to that effect. Find different developers. GDC is going to be super exciting. I hope we get to have a whole bunch of people on the show.
Yeah, GDC is going to be great, because that's obviously San Francisco's native show, and we're in San Francisco, and that's when all the developers come to kind of talk and learn from each other, and it's just a great time to access great minds in the industry.
Now here's an interesting thing that I need help with. First of all, Alfredo says he's proud of us. We love you, Alfredo. Thank you so much for your help. I have more questions than ever about everything. But Stan, HCA, who is a sub on my channel already, I know, the Game Over Greggy, says, Greg, will you be streaming on your normal channel? Here's the thing, is that I know people have already subbed to me for this month. So yes, I'm going to continue to stream on Game Over Greggy. I'm not sure if I can share the kind of funny one to Game Over Greggy, or if that makes sense, or if that would help my subs. So there's questions for me to figure out about all of this, but I am going to have you wind down your
status quo for now, but
But I'd rather you come over here. So we will. Somebody asked earlier, please stream later so I can watch it. I'm at work. Like, we're streaming, starting in an hour and a half, just playing video games with everybody for as long as we want and hanging out. And then tonight, I imagine, I'll still get on at 9 o'clock and play games and talk more about this. But I don't know if I'm going to do it here or there. I need my subs, the Game Over Greggy Twitch subs, to tell me what they think's fair. I don't want anybody feeling like they're getting screwed over here. So that's the easiest way to do that. Okay. Oh, jeez.
Oh wait, here's an interesting question that
Sorry,
we should answer. No, I'm sorry. Go down a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah, here. I'm Joaquin Merida, I think is the name. It says, can we unsubscribe from your Kind of Funny Patreon if we'd rather support your Kind of Funny gaming Patreon? The answer is yes, if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
I want you to subscribe to, if you want to subscribe to both Patreons, that's fantastic. We really do appreciate that. If you feel like you want to get Game Over Greggy's show early and all that kind of stuff over there, then that's where you're going to want to be. If you feel like you want more of the gaming-centric stuff early and some access in that respect, then that's the place you want to be. So we're not offended if you want to switch from one to the other.
We totally
It's your
understand.
money. Do what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to what content you want. We love to support in any fashion you can give it. So if you want to do it one way or the other, great. If you can do both, great. Whatever. You just go do your thing.
Should we take a couple more?
Sure. How many you want to do?
Let's do 2 more.
2 more. All
And
right.
sorry we can't get to all of you.
I'm blown away that there's so many
Yeah,
subs,
we really
let
do
alone this
appreciate
many
it. Thank you
viewers.
so much.
Again, we're doing this every day, 11 a.m. Pacific time for at least an hour, obviously more so the plan, and then we'll be back. We're going to be streaming here in just a few hours, so don't worry about it. Not even. All right, so what do you want? Somebody just... Oh, somebody wants a GoPro on Portillo. And then Nick
We've
to
done that
narrate.
before, haven't we?
Yeah, we did it for when he had to pick between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Vapion says, just wanted to say that my best friend and damn it, it's moving too fast. Met on Twitch and bonded over our love of Beyond, and he got me into trophy hunting. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you for everything you've done for us.
Yeah,
Colin
thank you so
and I,
much.
yeah, I mean our livelihood.
We owe you a great deal.
We owe you everything. Period. And end of statement on that one. Okay, well, this isn't counting as one of them, but Salman says, Greg and Colin, will every stream you guys do be posted on YouTube? No. We're keeping them to Twitch for now. We want to know if that's good or bad, so let us know in feedback. But they'll be archived on Twitch, so you can still go. But remember, this isn't a once-a-week thing. This is a daily thing. So if you miss today's, no big deal.
Yeah,
Come tomorrow.
this is an important piece of the formula that I don't think we got to explain, is that we explained earlier that it was my love of sports that allowed me to come up with the idea for this show and the format of the show. Mm-hmm. And what I love so much about the shows that are available for sports, whether it's Mike and Mike or Boomer and Carson, whatever these are, is that they're radio shows. It's very similar to politics, right? It's AM radio, right? And it's there when you want it, and you listen to it a few days a week. You're in your office, you're walking around, whatever you're able to do, and then you don't listen to it 1 day or 2 days. That's okay. It's there, and you can find it later on. It's supposed to be there in a predictable fashion, so that when you're around and you can listen to it live, you can.
Yeah.
And when you're not, then you can just go into the archive on Twitch.tv and check it out there.
Okay. Wonder Kid, I've modded for IGN, and this is faster. Lol. We do more on Twitch than IGN does. IGN has its own video player, obviously, and their own live streamers. They don't do that. Danny says, I think you guys are going to survive this transition no problem based on this stream alone. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being a
It'll be better, hopefully. Maybe it'll be a little more streamlined. I think we did a pretty nice job.
No, this is a great show. This is what we want. Conversational. We're there with the friends. We're doing everything else. Will there be exclusive Patreon? This is the final question.
Okay.
Luke Enviable says, will there be any Patreon exclusive videos for Kind of Funny Games? Yes.
Yes, there will be.
Same way we're doing, if you look at the Kind of Funny Games layout, it's meant to mirror Game Over Greggy. So you're getting your own Q&A on there. You're getting your own exclusive episode of the Games Cast over there. Same way that Game Over Greggy, or I guess Kind of Funny regular Patreons would get their own episode of the Game Over Greggy show, would get their own Q&A. So it's very similar, but it's different. Don't think that you're all going to get lumped in with one. Today's the Kind of Funny Games and Kind of Funny Q&As. No, we're doing all that. We're making them work. Hopefully we'll do them earlier in the day so more people can come. That's always a big problem. We do them late in the afternoon, 9 o'clock where you are. It doesn't work, whatever. So that was a lot of talking today.
That was a lot of fun.
The one note I have for tomorrow is I need 2 waters for sure.
2 waters, okay.
Woof, I burned through that water fast.
No, well, it's okay. You're
These old
overheating.
jaws flapping. So thirsty.
So that's it. So Greg,
Yeah.
we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Right.
For more Colin and Greg live.
Yeah.
Follow us Kind of Funny vids on Twitter, all that stuff, Patreon, all that stuff, kindoffunny.com.
Right, in 30 minutes, our Let's Play of Mario Kart will post over on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames.
Correct.
Then at 2 o'clock, we'll be back here streaming with Nick and Tim, playing that Smash like everybody loves. It's going to be a good day.
It's going to be
There's
great.
lots of great content. We'll be tweeting about it.
Thank you for being here for this inaugural episode of Colin and Greg live. Hopefully we go on for many years to come. Until tomorrow, we'll see you later.
Myriad. You like that?